C9 from making those plays. I mean, Sneaky was so on point with all of his rocket jumps, and also Jensen landed very critical shockwaves in key moments in that game. So it's the game 3 we've been hoping for every time these teams play each other and so rarely get.
Yeah, and we were even giving Ray a bit of a hard time last game because it seemed like things weren't working out for him. He was just constantly getting himself killed. We saw him solo die to the enemy jungler. Things just didn't look good. But then when they started to come back, every team fight, he was in the middle. He had the cataclysms. He was doing his job.
Yeah, and now the all-important game 3. No subs for C9. They keep Ray in for this decisive third game. They switch sides of the map back. I'm very curious to see if TSM keeps the same priority on Jhin, because the Tristana was something that actually Doublelift tunneled on last week when TSM was still on that win streak, the 11-game win streak, which, by the way, was broken this last game by Cloud9. So the Jhin was probably a denial pick, I feel like, when Doublelift picked it. Wouldn't be too surprised to see him go back over to a Trist this game, unless they leave Caitlyn up, because it's still not banned and TSM's got one left.
All right, taking a look at these bans so far. You got 4 of the same ones we've seen in the previous 2 games. LeBlanc, Galio, Ken, and Zach all banned away. Cloud9 adapting, banning away the Corki. Not wanting to play against that one again this game. TSM has 1 more ban to go. We'll have to see what exactly they want to take off the table. Time runs out as Syndra is banned out.
So there's a bit of a mind game going on there. I think Caitlyn is almost the guaranteed first pick here, but if that happens, TSM might just pick Ori right away in the same spot that C9 did. So now C9 has to make the choice of, do they put Sneaky on Caitlyn as their carry option or Jensen on Orianna as their carry option? I think that's the choice that they're being pushed into by TSM here.
Well, remember that Caitlyn has been banned away the previous 2 games. Has not been allowed to happen in this series just yet, so Cloud9 will go through, pick that one up for themselves.
Yeah, and I think if TSM doesn't pick Ori here, C9 pick it right away. So they either need to have a pick ready for it, and since they already banned away the Syndra, I think that is less likely.
Cloud9 is not bashful at all about locking in the Ori early for themselves in the previous game, locking it in first, I believe. So TSM going to show that they're not really afraid of doing the same thing. They pick that one up before anything else.
Orianna, oftentimes the signature champion of the best mid laners. No surprise that Jensen and Bjergsen both very good at it. And that's become an incredibly potent pick in this series.
I was going to say, honestly, this pick has helped define both wins so far. It's been super critical to the success of either one of these teams. And now with Corki banned away, the answer that TSM had to it is not available for Cloud9.
Yeah, and TSM then go with Jhin instead of power picking a support. Because something that they were denied last game was pretty much the choice of any of the frontline supports, Thresh, Braum, or Tahm Kench. There's no way C9 can deny all of those here, but they kind of show their whole hand now. That's all of their lanes basically decided outside of jungle and support, because I do not think Contracts will play jungle rumble. So very much a pushing strat for C9, shown very early. So TSM now needs to pick engage and wave clear. So they already kind of know what Cloud9 does, which shows a lot of confidence in C9 in their style, but I also think is incredibly risky to show this early.
Absolutely. TSM going to go ahead, not decide to do the same thing on their side. They're still going to leave that top laner open for the pick, open for guessing. Cloud9, they know they're up against Rumble. They lock in the Thresh for themselves. Biofrost, we know what a playmaker he can be on this champion. We've seen it banned against him before.
Yeah, I really am not a fan of this draft from Reaper, because now TSM can block out the Tahm Kench and the Braum to take pretty much any hope of a solid front line for this multiple carry backline, and it allows TSM to build up a lot of dive and engage if they want to. I don't think Cloud9 has enough bans left to stop TSM from being able to pick wave clear and engage champions.
Well, they're going to start by banning away the Kled. They know that the charge can be a big engage tool to help the entire team get in there. They also know that Hanser has played it in both games so far, so they want to remove that from the pool of possibilities.
Yeah, I was expecting the Tahm Kench to come through as a second ban, so that's also something TSM can't pick that early, so I think that'll end up being the support from Smoothie. They instead get rid of Gragas since Contract succeeded with it last game in the jungle.
0-0 and 12 last game for Contract, by the way. When they won, he had no kills, no deaths, 12 assists, the perfect support score. Didn't need to be the carry for his team, was just able to facilitate properly. At least the final ban from Cloud9, going to be keeping Sven off that one, but remember, Lee is up.
Yeah, so you will pick it then? Because I think that's kind of the choice here. Unless TSM really want to practice things that aren't Lee Sin, it's very straightforward, though, with all of the other junglers being taken away. What even doing hovering the Nidalee unless they feel like it's a denial pick for C9's poke composition?
I mean, all 3 of those targets that have been locked in by C9 so far are great targets for a kick. You knock any one of those guys into the team, they're going to be in trouble.
C9 is going to have to play this game so well to win. They have to have a bunch of turret pressure. They have to be incredibly elusive from TSM's initiation, since everyone TSM has picked now has a chance to catch out C9.
I'm wondering if they're actually going...
Yeah.
Okay!
They're all in on this strategy. It's a siege strategy with backline carries, and Nunu, if you are going to pick a champion who can be the one-man catch-all protection, it is actually Nunu. I've talked with Kobe and a bunch of the other junglers in the office about this. This guy is actually pretty oppressive right now in the way he has played in this game. You can still go Locket, Knight's Vow, really be a true support while doing all these other things. So if there is a pick that can pull this composition together, it is the Nunu.
Also locking in the Bard for Smoothie. We know Bard is a huge playmaker. You can see some awesome stuff come out of him, but at the same time, if Bard fails, he fails with flying colors. Nick is going to have to show up pretty big for these guys.
He really does. TSM hovers the Jarvan, which I think would be the perfect pick in this situation. It can also lock down the Rumble in the top lane. This just seems like such a powerhouse team composition by TSM that C9 must need to be so careful with the way they push and shove these lanes, because if TSM kind of ever get ahead, I feel like they'll be able to throw themselves at C9 over and over and just kill the multiple squishy members on the C9 team.
I mean, they've got the Ori Jarvan combo, right?
Yeah.
One delivers the ball, the other sets up the hoop, and it just creates this team fight that is so huge of a threat. There's no way that you can't respect it. And Cloud9 doesn't have the tools to not respect something. I mean, your tanky guy's a Nunu. That's it. Everybody else melts.
Yeah, the way C9, I feel like, needs to play this game now. Jensen pushes mid. It's a good matchup against Orianna. The Caitlyn can push in the early.
I'm hyped up. The team's got to be ready. They're out onto the Rift for the 3rd and final time in this series to see who's going to walk away victorious. Fanning out at the start, the TSM chants begin, and both teams will be taking their defensive positions. It's a crowd war. It's a cheering contest back and forth. You can hear Cloud9's in a sea of TSMs as both sides really want to channel all their energy to the boys on stage, have them walk away with the win here today, get one step closer to being that #1 team in North America.
I do feel like the fans were baited a little bit trying to compete with a 3-syllable chant with a 2-syllable chant. It is almost never effective. That's why we went over at Worlds last year. The way to cheer for Cloud9 was "Let's go C9." No, that's not it. I already forgot it. Why am I forgetting my own chant?
Wait, did you come up with it?
Let's go Cloud9, clap, 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 clap. That's the one.
Okay, so let's go Cloud9, clap, 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 clap. That's how you compete with a 3-syllable chant.
Yeah, because if you're doing a C9, you're either having the long break, because you're kind of thinking about a 4-syllable measure. So it's like TSM breath, TSM breath.
Right.
But if you're C9, you either take 2 breaths off or you never get a chance to get a breath. So you can't compete with the TSM chant. I've done far too much thinking about this.
Glad you're a master of chant mechanics, because I didn't know any of this. I just always thought that whoever's the loudest wins the game.
That can't happen unless you run out of breath. You can't just shout forever.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, I guess you could do it in waves. Have half the crowd do the first C9, have the second half of the crowd, but then you lose your loudness because you're only working with half your dudes. All these problems they'll have to overcome.
Cloud9 themselves. If he really wanted to, he could flash consume smite, or just consume smite. He's gonna get it.
Walks up, takes it right in his face. That's what Nunu does.
Oh, and it's successful as well, because there's no way Svenskeren has the defense of his own team right there. That's exactly what you want to do on Nunu, and he might go back for more.
Oh man, this is what Nunu's made of. Flash that wall! Flash that wall and eat that Gromp!
Smack him!
You can do it! Oh!
Either way, Svenskeren still has to recall at level 3, means the gank threat is gone, which means C9 can continue to play aggressive in these lanes. They have to maintain this tempo for a very long time, and they cannot let Svenskeren get ganks off.
They want to go on a magical journey coming in from behind these guys, and they're going to do it. Seeing if Bard can find the binding into the wall. Instead, only gets it onto a minion. Contract's making his way down. Hook lane, though, buys a lot of extra damage. The snowball for first blood.
Why stop to hook if you were Biofrost? They're 3 people hitting you and you have no backup there. The heal gets burned, the flash gets burned, and Contracts gets first blood.
Good job from Cloud9. That's what we wanted to see from the Nunu. That's how this team has to work. And oh my goodness, Jack. We talked about how Drakes don't usually get taken very early. How about 4 minutes in?
If you're a Nunu,
anything's possible. And that Ocean Drake that you mentioned, having that from 4 minutes into the game, really going to give a lot more laning power to these guys. Scarin trying to back, but Contract shows up in time to not allow that to happen. Shockwave flashed away from, Jensen evading that one. Keep in mind, Contracts has his ulti, Scarin does not. Nunu ulti is an amazing zone control mechanism to force your opponents to move in ways that they would not otherwise want to do.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when they're going to go. There's no shot on Bjergsen.
Going in, the culling coming out. Smoothie trying to rotate in, and Jensen grabs himself a kill.
And even though Smoothie was there, that was unassisted solo kill there by Adoring Shield Lucian onto Bjergsen's Orianna. So making it count. Contracts.
Contracts might be in some trouble. Scarin going to be slowed down. The absolute zero channel. Contracts trying to get himself away. He's not going to be killed just yet. Smoothie going on a magical journey the wrong way. The equalizer comes down.
Where are you going to
run? To go after him. Flash into the flame spitter, and Cloud9 is 3-0.
Making the plays right now. 1,000 gold at 7 minutes. And can they set up turret pressure on top of it? Getting that kill on Gargoyle Stoneplate into Locket. It's about a 2,500 health shield if you use them in the right order, which would be enough to protect an entire backline from a shockwave.
Now he's going to be bursted down pretty rapidly. Biofrost trying to help out, but he's going to be caught up in the ultimate from Smoothie, and now TSM going to be taken very low. Sneaky grabbing the kill onto Double It from the side comes Ray. Biofrost going to be melting down next. Scarin in some trouble, but still keeps himself alive for now. Haunter going to be tanking 4, but drops. A shockwave finds its way onto 3, but Smoothie's still going to be kept alive. A double for Bjerg. Contract still trying to chase him down. Find this extra kill on the back end of it. Jensen wants to come forward. The auto attacks come out. The piercing light will not quite find the ace, but TSM has lost 4 for 2.
These fights are so close in this game. 4 for 2. Now they should be able to take the turret afterwards. Look at Contracts' health with that Warmogs, by the way. It will just go to full in a few seconds, and that allows them to keep the pressure on.
Oh, that build is so dirty.
So troll.
He comes down the mid lane. Scarin able to find the catch onto Jensen yet again. The 3rd time this game he's been picked by TSM.
Point, counterpoint. TSM doing just enough to keep this game interesting and prevent C9 from snowballing absolutely through them. Drake up yet again. Ocean Drake pretty important for being able to stick around after a Caitlyn ultimate or headshot gets landed on you. Baron also an issue though in this game with the double marksman as well as the Nunu can be forced down very quickly. The up-tempo pace will continue.
And honestly, the times where Jensen is getting caught out this game, allowing TSM the opportunity to contest these Nunu objectives, you don't expect a game to have a super close contest in Drakes when one side has a Nunu. That's what Nunu is really adept at controlling.
Exactly, and then when you add to it that you have the Lucian who solo killed the Orianna, the Caitlyn in the bottom lane, the Rumble who shoves in the top lane, there shouldn't actually be many windows for TSM to move down and take the early Drake. So just the one mountain in the double ocean I think is acceptable for C9.
And now he's huge again, 2-1 and 8 on this Nunu, but not big enough to save Jensen.
Oh my god, Scarin getting to watch that one more time, landing the Q onto Contracts as Nunu. War jump flash, I mean, you can only give so much respect to Lee Sin before you just gotta applaud him for that fight, because you can't say Jensen should have seen that coming. He was 800 units away from the guy who got
hit. Bears off. Smoothie and Contracts now gonna be stuck here in the river. A lot of damage on the Smoothie from the Bjergsen damage output as now the culling comes out. Bjergsen gonna be taken down to about half. Scarin having to disengage with the kick. Shockwave comes out onto Jensen, who's gonna be taken very, very low. More damage coming through this time from Sneaky. Double it full to safety with Biofrost. Hanser joining up with them as Cloud9 seems to have got the better of the fight for now. Scarin will likely be sent home as C9 starts up Baron.
This is where the double Ocean Drake as well as Nunu Warmogs comes in. They can regen up a fair bit, whereas TSM cannot.
Ooh, Ray barely sidestepping the death sentence there. Cloud9 still keeping Contract on the Baron. He can pretty much tank it forever, just constantly consuming it. Keeping his health topped off. Ray looking to go in, able to find the Flame Spitters, able to get some damage. Zonya's Hourglass going to be keeping him safe for now. Sneaky getting himself back, but at the same time applying the damage to Biofrost, who has been dropped. TP coming in on the backside. Haunter looking to make the moves onto Sneaky, who flashes himself away. Staying alive for now. The bullets will not be curved into the fight. Jensen grabbing the kill onto Haunter. Sneaking off to the side, looking to come around and get that damage if need be. TSM 3 men remaining, 2 of them under half HP.
Contracts laughing off the curtain call while Doublelift is shooting it at them. They are in control here. Can they now refocus on the Baron? The control ward has not been cleared, so TSM cannot see it. They also can't find ways to get back in. There are charges on Svenskeren's Tracker's Knife, so he can ward and maybe try to steal, but as you mentioned against Nunu, nearly impossible. Shockwave is up. TSM do not want to give this over.
Svenskeren thinking about going in, trying to steal this one away. Normally Lee Sin's good at that, but it's so hard to do. Bjergsen gonna be brought low, almost taken down. Contracts knocked away, and Bjergsen is dead. Deadly Flourish not gonna be finding its mark today. Contracts trying to get himself right back into the pit. Doublelift taken so low. Smoothie still looking to chase these guys down. Doublelift almost dropped, but not quite today. Biofrost the target. Ray barely missing out on the kill. There's that DFT that would have otherwise provided the damage.
Woo! This game, Captain Flowers, on a nice edge, but C9 are pulling off the balancing act, getting that Baron and sticking in there for so long, and Contracts being able to stay alive this whole time. Absolutely critical. They'll have to use this Baron to try and win the game, but watching this one more time, there is a Shockwave that Bjergsen tries to get, but Contracts flashes past it. Gets the ult onto Bjergsen, does finish him off thanks to the equalizer from Ray, and still doesn't die. It allows C9 to pick that up, plus multiple kills, but as you mentioned, Deathfire Touch could have been so critical bottom lane. Yeah, it's risky in the sense that there's not a fallback pattern. Unless they shove down the turrets and get a gold lead early, they generally don't win. But now they have the Nunu, the Baron, the traps. They want to go.
And they've got the Caitlyn with that 3-item spike. This is where things go from bad to worse for TSM. They've got to find some way to defend these, but it just gets harder and harder as multiple lanes of Baron Enchanted minions going to be pushing into the tier 3s. Contracts on the front line.
Beautiful
bait onto multiple people. Equalizer comes down. More damage coming out. Doublelift is out of the picture. And Bjergsen's going to be chased down next. TSM retreats and loses the mid lane in him.
And C9 is in such a power spike right now. They have the option to go bottom for the inhibitor, but they're going for the Nexus.
This is going to be it, potentially. Cloud9 wants to force the issue. TSM has got to pull off the victory here if they want to keep their hopes alive. Svenskeren on the front line. Absolute Zero being channeled. Cloud9 keeping them off for now. Bjerg has to do the work. Sneaky and Jensen putting so much damage into Nexus turret number 2. Bjergsen going to be brought down. Ladies and gentlemen, TSM will fall, and Cloud9 will be the ones to take them down.
The reverse sweep comes in from C9, and a beautiful game 3 executed by them. 3 winning lanes all across the board, raking out the Nunu on Contracts as he laughs his way through the game and closing it out before 30 minutes.
Vengeance for the first series this split, and vengeance for the outcome of the playoff finals in Spring Split 2017. Cloud9 has shown that they are still a threat and can still contend with TSM.
Yeah, even though it's just the regular season, even though they're still waiting to play COG this week, you see what it means just to take them down here, especially in the manner in which they did. Trailing in Game 2, backs against the wall, pulling out clutch team fight after clutch team fight, then showing their hand very early on in the Game 3 draft, saying, we're coming at you with Caitlyn, Lucian, Rumble, and shoving you down. TSM can't find the answer, and C9 walk away victorious.
It was such an audacious draft pattern, but the fact that they had the faith in it, the fact that they knew they could execute as a team, this kind of goes to what we talk about with Reaper as a coach and as a drafter too. He said, look, we can get this done. It doesn't matter what their game plan is against it. It matters that this is our plan and we can execute with it. And Cloud9 just as a team working so well together. You mentioned the Nunu and how he was the tank for the entire team, even though he was only one guy. And man, he did it right.
Yeah, and then also Ray, you can see right there, very happy on stage. Relieved that him not taking Deathfire Touch on Rumble didn't cost him the game, but also I think a very important series for him, because so often, at least in the spring split, Impact would win, Ray would come in, Ray would lose, and they'd bring back Impact to take control of it. The opposite happened here. Impact lost game 1, and then Ray was on the winning team games 2 and 3, which I think is so good for his growth, as he hasn't been able to transfer his play from solo queue onto stage here in the LCS. And even with the bad mastery choice, he destroyed that game with Equalizer.